Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program may contain adult content and is intended for mature audiences only.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The arguments begin now.
Imagine if I had done any of this. Let me just, I just want to be clear about this. Imagine that Imagine if I had pulled Fox News' credentials from the White House press corps. You're laughing, but no, this is what's happening. Imagine if I'd said to law firms that were representing parties that were upset with policies my administration had initiated, that you will not be allowed into government buildings. We will punish you economically for dissenting from the Affordable Care Act or the Iran deal. We will ferret out students who protest against my policies. It's unimaginable that the same parties that are silent now would have tolerated behavior like that from me or a whole bunch of my predecessors. So, and I say this not on a partisan basis. This has to do with something more precious, which is, who are we as a country, and what values do we stand for?
There. How about that one? Who the
Oh.
hell are we? Who are we as a country? I saw that yesterday as I was researching for the other show.
That just tweaked your interest. He was stuttering half the fucking time.
I know you.
What did he say with such clarity that you just were overwhelmed to agree with?
The fact he asked a very good question there. Who are we? And have we changed since the last administration? That was the question there.
We changed through every administration.
But who are we?
Say,
We were nice for 4, 5, 6, 10 administrations, and all of a sudden we're going to turn into assholes.
why are we assholes?
He asked a very good question there.
That's a very good question. My question to you is, why are we assholes?
Well, you're assholes because you're doing stuff that any other president wouldn't.
Such as?
Do you think that even the Obama administration, or even let's go back further. Let's go back to, I don't know, Jimmy Carter or Ronald Reagan or even JFK. Do you think we would have been kicking out immigrants with JFK? Do you have any idea what the Statue of Liberty says? The plaque on it as to why it.
Yeah, well, that was put on there much later. But yeah,
You know,
I don't
the whole
remember
thing
the
is-
exact words, but I know what you're getting at, and I find it laughable.
Well, I find it
What you're trying to
I
preach to
find it
me,
sad.
what you're trying to preach to me, I find laughable.
I find it very
Because
sad.
the same people that you voted for time and time and time again have said the same things that Donald Trump has said since he's been in office, even the first time. And almost perfect sentences.
Well,
So what do you got?
as far as the same, you talk about saying the same thing. He said the same thing during his first administration. He created a substitute or a replacement for NAFTA, which sucked. But he looked at that when he got into office this time, and he says, "Who the hell put this together?" Now, who are we?
Where did you read that? That must be some CNN
Who
bullshit.
the fuck are we?
That must be some
I
CNN
watched
bullshit
it on
you're reading.
TV. I watched it on the.
Oh, I watched it on fucking TV.
Well, it's the truth. It came right. It came right out of his
God's
mouth.
truth.
It came
Right out of his mouth.
It came
Okay.
right out of his mouth.
Preach on, brother. Preach on, brother.
Whatever.
I digress. Preach on, brother.
I ain't
Come on,
preaching.
what else? What else you got? What else you got? What else you gonna say about Orange Man bad?
It's not Orange Man bad. I just don't like some of his policies. You don't. You never
like any of these policies.
You don't. You never liked Biden's. So what the hell?
Oh
Well, I
shit!
guess we're even.
Really? You had a
guess we're
retarded fucking president, and you expect me to have liked him?
Oh yeah. So
Come on.
So you got a retarded
The
fucking president
guy's
right now.
mind was done.
And you
God
think
bless
Donald
him.
Trump is sane? Give me a break, Dale.
God bless him,
Oh,
because
give me a break.
I mean,
No.
he was his
I'm
mind
sorry,
was not right.
He's toast.
There's some Alzheimer's and stuff like that
Trump
going
is
on,
toast.
and y'all knew it. Y'all
And
knew
we
it.
know it now
but you
too.
ignored it
And
and
we-
allowed him to
And we
continue
know it now
to do
too.
what he was doing.
And we know it now too.
Yep, you know it now too. Yeah,
Yeah. He's
it took
toast.
4 years for you to figure out.
He's toast too. Trump is toast too.
What do you mean he's toast?
Some of the stuff he comes up with.
What are you going to tell me?
Oh,
He's
what
not
the
going to
hell
get
the-
reelected? Well, no shit. He's not going to get reelected. He's going to serve his 2 terms, and he's
Well,
fucking
that's
done.
not what he said.
So guess what? After
That's
4
not what
years,
he said 3
you don't
days
have to
ago.
worry about that motherfucker anymore.
It's not
You
what
don't
he
have
said.
to worry about
It's
it.
not what he said 3 days ago. 3 days
I
ago,
don't
he
give
said,
a
there's ways that I can get reelected, and I'm going to run again. Right out of his mouth.
Whatever.
Watch it on TV.
I have not heard that.
Want me to get you a
Okay,
clip of it?
you'll have to send me that. Send me that
Huh.
because I want to watch it on TV myself. Because you tell me all about it, and you could tell all these people that may or may not be listening that this happened. I want to see it with my own eyes.
All right, I'll send it to you.
I want to see it.
I can find the clip.
Okay, find the clip, send it to me, put it on the fucking air right now, and then maybe we'll have a different conversation about that. But until then, I think you're full of shit, and it's another Democratic talking fucking point.
It's not time to go to. If we're going to start insulting each other, I'm going to call it.
Insulting each
You're
other?
insult. You told me I'm full of shit. That's not an insult? You're full of shit too. How about that?
Okay, well, isn't that what we're doing here?
We're supposed to be having a constructive argument, not insulting each other. Remember the rules we set in the beginning?
No. I'm sorry, sir. I apologize
You don't have to.
if I offended you in any way.
You don't
May
have to.
we continue? I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to go to insulting me. I won't take that.
Okay.
What else that's non-violent can we talk about? You want to do the protests?
It's not violent.
Yeah, those weren't violent.
Well, you said what else that's not violent can we talk about? I didn't know we were talking about violence beforehand.
Well, something that's not going to get us in each other's faces.
Well, that's what we're doing.
Not all the time.
The art of argument. We are arguing
Well,
your side and my side. You have very different beliefs. I have very different beliefs.
Yeah.
And yes, we have had this show 975 times. And how many times have I said, "Hey, you're full of shit"?
You didn't go to the point you were insulting me.
It's not insulting you.
Yeah, you did.
That's that's how we do it. And you tell me I'm a dickhead or I'm a stupid mother. Well, you don't use those words, but anyways, it goes back and forth. It's an argument. Okay. Now, if you want to have a civil debate where everybody gets 2 minutes to talk and whatever else, then fine. But
I'm not doing that.
I mean, come on. Really? You were offended by me saying...
I was offended by your words, yes.
You were offended by me saying you're full of shit?
Yeah.
And that's the first time you've ever heard that out of my mouth. And you weren't offended all the other times, but this time you're offended.
Oh, no, let's just...
Okay, I just want that to go on record.
Put it all back on me, Dale. Yep, that's what you want to do.
I just want that to go on record.
Pin it all back on me.
Let's continue. I'll put the kids' gloves on. Okay, let's move along.
Do you have a clip you want to play? You want to?
Oh well, excellent. What was it you were saying you wanted to speak about?
We still have the protests.
Okay, so the protests will move into. You know what? No, the protests will move into my other thing. So yeah, I do. I have a couple clips I would like to play. And it goes with immigration.
I mean, I'll allow you to share
and
here.
You know your all's ideas about immigration and whatnot, and how you feel.
Where's the share at?
And how horrible Donald Trump is for doing what he's doing. So, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and put the clip up. Start your sharing.
All right, how do I? Yeah, see, that's where you got to tell me how to do it.
You got a share button at the bottom and a button about in the middle. It should be green.
Got it. Okay.
Now click that. No, then you'll have to pick the screen, and on the left-hand side there may be something. Hang on a second. Let me try this myself. On the left-hand side, you see, or the right-hand side, rather, you see share sound, optimize.
No, I just see screen. I mean, I think my sound is already there, but.
Well, you can try.
Oh, wait, no, that's on the left. Share sound.
Yeah, click on.
And then what? Should I hit optimize for video sharing?
Let's just go with the share sound.
Okay. So then I go back over to the other side and I hit.
Now you'll have to. Then you have to pick the screen you want to share.
Screen. Okay.
Yeah, we got the video.
Okay. I'm looking because it's got my stuff all messed up. So we got to go down here and but
You can just close that tab.
okay. So as we talk about immigration, I'm going to go all the way back. Here is
all Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Let's move on. Now we'll go to President Obama. This is Obama as a senator.
You want high-performance, long-lasting, affordable tools. You want Harbor Freight tools.
This is Obama as a senator.
We all agree on the need to better secure the border and to punish employers who choose to hire illegal immigrants. We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law, and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country.
Okay, let me digress again. Now, this is Obama as president.
I continue to believe that the best way to solve this problem is by working together to pass that kind of common sense law. But until that happens, there are actions I have the legal authority to take as president, the same kinds of actions taken by Democratic and Republican presidents before me, that will help make our immigration system more fair and more just. Tonight, I'm announcing those actions. First, we'll build on our progress at the border with additional resources for our law enforcement personnel, so that they can stem the flow of illegal crossings and speed the return of those who do cross over. Second, I'll make it easier and faster for high-skilled immigrants, graduates, and entrepreneurs to stay and contribute to our economy, as so many business leaders have proposed. Third, we'll take steps to deal responsibly with the millions of undocumented immigrants who already live in our country. I want to say more about this third issue because it generates the most passion and controversy. Even as we are a nation of immigrants, we're also a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous. That's why over the past 6 years, deportations of criminals are up 80%. And that's why we're going to keep focusing enforcement resources on actual threats to our security. Felons, not families. Criminals, not children. Gang members, not a mom who's working hard to provide for her kids. We'll prioritize, just like law enforcement does every day. But even as we
Okay, so I'll save you all the bullshit. We'll have to.
At the top of the screen, click on share or turn off share.
Where's that at?
It's at the top of the screen.
Stop share. Okay.
Yeah, something occurred to me.
So
Something just occurred to me. We've been talking about immigration. Well, you had, what do you call it, Clinton on there. You could probably have went back and found Carter. I know you could have found Reagan. I'm pretty sure that you could have went back to even Gerald Ford, because that was about time when all that started becoming an issue. So what's that been? Well, Ford was, 70, 78? 70, let's just say mid-70s. And now it's 2025. So you've went almost 50 years talking about immigration, plus a whole term of Trump on immigration. And here we are in 2025 talking about illegal alien immigration. Don't you think?
Oh, don't say that word.
Don't you
Can't
think?
say that. They're undocumented people.
Don't you think that if they were serious about doing something, that it would have been done by now?
No, what I'm saying is you can see people were doing things, but then under Biden, the floodgates opened up and allowed all these individuals to just stream into the country. And this is what we're dealing with now. And while Donald Trump is trying to handle that situation, everybody's, oh my God, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Wait a minute. He's
Sorry.
I mean, he's getting, these MS-13 people, there are bad people that are flowing into the country, are not being vetted at the border as they normally are. And this is what was going on. Why do you think all of a sudden all these people are getting deported? And yes, you're going to bring up, I guess there's that one gentleman that allegedly was wrongfully deported, but that's a whole different subject. But I mean, we're trying to correct a problem, but everybody's like, oh my God, that's horrible. I don't get it.
Yeah, like I said though, Dale, we've talked about immigration and illegal immigration since the 1970s.
Right, but I'm showing you all the stuff that you are telling me is so horrible that our current president is doing are the identical words coming out of the mouths of the same presidents that you voted for. The same Democratic presidents were also saying this same thing. So, but now all of a sudden, because Donald Trump says it, oh my God, that's horrible. You're ruining human rights. You're doing this. You're doing it. We're a country of immigrants and this and that and blah 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 blah. And everybody's like pleading their case and drying their tears and all this bullshit when the presidents that you voted for said the very same freaking thing.
I can see. I'll give you. I see the point there, but it still comes down to the fact that you can talk in one hand, put shit in one hand, and when you clap, it still smashes all over. The whole thing comes down to is why in the hell haven't they done something before this? Trump was in office for 4 years. He could have. He was trying to put us.
And then the Congress, he was trying to close the border, and the Congress wouldn't let him. He was trying to lock down the border, and the Congress would not let him. Now, wait a minute. Don't tell me, oh, why did he do something? He tried, and he tried, and he tried. But between the House of Representatives and the Senate, they shut him the fuck down and told him, oh, no, you can't close the fucking border. You ain't allowed to do that. So don't blame that on him. Don't blame that on Donald Trump.
Congress ain't done with him yet anyway. I've heard of 2 or 3 bills that they're trying to pass that's going to limit the trade tariffs, which I think is another thing we need to discuss. I've always thought that Trump has had, at least in this term, he's like a bull in a china shop. Believe me, I'm not meaning to insult him, you, or anybody else. But he acts like a bull in a china shop. He goes in there and he tries to knock everything down and do everything at once and blah, 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 blah. Well, the whole thing, from what I see, I don't know if you remember his last term or not. I'm sure you probably do, and there's a lot of people out there that do. But he was a lot of smoke and mirrors, and he's still that way. He'll take and he'll bring up a subject that everybody hates, and he'll get everybody all trumped up, and then Congress will step in or the justice system will step in and say, "Hey, time out! You're not doing it. Hold on so quick." Okay, we switch off of that subject, and then we go try something else, and we get away with that. It's a distraction.
Oh, sounds like the liberal news.
You know, and
yeah, okay, I've heard that before.
This is what gets me about him. I've got nothing, you know.
How many of his campaign promises did he fulfill in his first 4 years?
I don't.
Okay, I can't give you exact number, but what I will tell you is many of them, a very large percentage of what he said he was going to do, he did. So I don't understand the smoke and mirrors theory that you have going on.
Well, when he gets caught doing something, or when he gets told to stop doing something, he shifts while everybody's still concentrating on that. He shifts around and does some other sneaky stuff, or other stuff, trying to get away with stuff you probably wouldn't get away with until Congress steps up again.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, Congress needs to grow a set of balls. And I've heard 2 or 3 people just over the last couple of weeks that have told me the same thing. People that I deal with every day. Congress needs to grow a set of balls.
People that feel the same way you do.
Now, there you go, trying to almost insult my friends now. You know,
how am I insulting them by saying that they
just because
feel
we
the
are
same way you
like-minded?
do?
Just because we're like-minded.
Oh my God! What is your obsession with insulting today? Let's cover that real quick. And if we need to end the show, we can end the show. But why is it that everything that comes out of my mouth you feel is so insulting to you? I'm not trying to insult you. I am trying to have a conversation, and I'm not going to agree with everything that you say. I'm not going to.
With you, but I don't tell you your friends.
That's the point of the show.
I don't tell you your friends are all like-minded with your like-mindedness. They may share your. They may share
some
your
of them are, some of them aren't.
They may
and
share
those
your
that aren't, I will tell you.
And as far as I'm concerned, a lot my friends that are free thinking, they do what they want to do. I'm just telling you that I heard the same thing basically.
But
from a couple
obviously
of
they're
people.
like-minded with you, is what I'm saying.
Well, that depends on how far you
They're
want to take
saying the same
like-minded.
thing that you're saying, so they're like-minded. Now, how would me pointing that out offend you?
The way that I took that was, oh,
I know. See,
they're all
you're-
they're all a bunch of stupid Democrats like you are.
I didn't say that.
You might as
Because
well.
if I called you a stupid Democrat, I've just called you a Democrat. And I've called you a Democrat or a liberal many times. Have I ever called you stupid? No, you have your beliefs. I have mine. And your friends have their beliefs. And obviously they're, I'm assuming from what you're telling me, like-minded with you. So one could assume that they're probably Democratic or liberal. Maybe they're not. But there was nothing offensive about what I said. And I don't understand why you're getting butthurt, because we're having conversation and where we're not supposed to agree, but you're getting upset when I don't agree. I don't get it. I really don't.
Getting upset? Nah.
So can we, I don't know, get in the fever of what we're doing here? We're supposed to be disagreeing.
All right,
I
disagree on everything with you.
Exactly. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're doing.
So let's disagree.
So
Let's
don't
agree to
get mad
disagree.
at me for disagreeing with you.
If I got mad at you, there wouldn't be a show.
And I'm offending your friends and I'm offending you because I disagree. Well, guess what? I'm probably going to continue to disagree. I mean, that's the whole purpose of what we're doing here. So please don't take offense to the words that are coming from my mouth. I'm not, I'm just speaking my piece, just like you're speaking your piece. But am I going to agree every time? Absolutely not.
I don't agree with you now.
Absolutely not. I mean, come on. And I digress. Can we move on?
All right, let's. Getting back, I have heard from a couple of people, my friends, whatever, that he's like a bull in a china shop. If he would just act a little bit slower and not try to go gung ho, and when you start, you if anybody should know what it's like when you're doing your job. And I'm gonna put this in terms that I feel that you might understand about me.
Oh, I'm offended by you saying that.
Oh, well, good.
What do you think? What do you think?
I don't think there are things that I don't think
I couldn't
you don't
understand in normal
me.
terms. So you're going to put it in little kids' terms?
No, I'm not going to put it in little.
See what I mean?
I'm going to talk to you as a young man.
Follow me. Go ahead.
Fuck you, Dale.
Exactly. Move along. What you got?
Okay. When you prepare for work, when you go to work in the morning, you got a whole kitchen to set up, everything like that. If you go in an hour late and you got to hurry your ass off to get everything done, dishes are flying the whole bit, are you going to be as efficient as you would be if you just took it slow and deliberate and take care of business, but make sure there's no errors? Are you going to be More efficient that way or the other way?
Well, apparently you don't know me very well. I would say your latter comment about slow and blah, 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 blah. Okay, yes, that does help you fulfill the purpose. But you're talking to a guy that goes into work late pretty much every single day of his life.
Jesus.
And when I get into work, I accomplish more than almost any other person in the building as far as in the kitchen. If dinner is, or if lunch is supposed to be served at 11 o'clock and I'm supposed to be there at 10 and I roll in at 10:30, guess what? Lunch is ready to be served at 11 o'clock and it's ready to be served correctly. It's not a half-ass job. Things are done, things are taken care of. So you're dealing with, when you're talking to me, now I guess when you're talking about the general public and other,
I was just trying to
our millennials that we have running around and all these other butthurt kids, I get it, but no, with me, why do you think I can come into work late every day and I don't get fired? Okay, because they know the production they're going to get from me every day. And I'm not saying I'm a bad kid. I'm not right for being late for work every day, and I should not do that. And a lot of times I kind of do it because, well, I just know I can get away with it. But I'm still able, the production I put in when I'm there, I'm not only producing what I do, but I'm mentoring others at the same time while my boss sits in an office and does absolutely nothing. So basically, I'm doing my job, his job, and somebody else's job at the same time. And okay, well, so because they're happy with that and they're pleased with what I do, and okay, I'm allowed to come in a little late. So
this got all blown out of proportion. What I was trying to get at is you're going to be more efficient if you take things slower. We had in the auto industry, we had a thing called out of process, and lateness was one of them. If you're late, you're out of process, and you're going to be out of process for the whole day. If you have a machine breakdown and it's causing those parts that you're making through that machine, go through that machine to go through and be 3 or 4 hours late for the assembly plant, you're out. My whole point here is just, I myself think he's like a bull in a china shop. I've said that 100 times. And if he would just act slower and make sure everything is efficiently done, you wouldn't have anything like that guy that got shipped over there when he shouldn't, when he was protected by, when he was, and I had a protective status in the U.S. You wouldn't have had that. Guy's got a family living here. He's away from his family. He's been away from his family for a month. And now the court system, because the court system said that he did not have due process, because he was in a protected status here, he had due process. I wouldn't have had a problem with it, but he had no due process with it. You get what I'm saying here? What I'm saying is he's trying to go way too quick with all this stuff, and it's going to, you're going to make errors. And I see it happening. And this is what I see happening. It's, America's a great country. You and I both know that. Will it be great after he's gone? You're damn right it will be. Was it great before he come along? You're damn right it was. It's the country we live in, and to sit and watch somebody that's like a bull in a china shop. Now, mind you, some of the stuff he does is pretty cool. I'm almost getting to agree with the immigration thing. Provided, and I said this word, provided, that they're not shipping people that have a status in this country back out. If you're illegal, if you've jumped the fence, whatever, your ass should be out of here. Not a problem. But somebody born in somebody that is seeking asylum in this country and has been given protected status, and you're going to pick him up just like anybody else and ship their ass out? Or you've got students over here that their visas have been taken away from them, and their protected status have been taken away from them, and you're going to ship them out. And there's been some in Akron. Kent State had.
But if your protected status has been taken away from you, then you're not supposed to be here, correct?
As long as you went through due process of the law to have the status.
Due process of what?
So don't give me that crap.
You had this legal document that said you could be in the U.S. You no longer have it. You no longer have it because somebody said, "Fuck you, let's get you out of the country too." We got a court system in this country. People are the court system is here for American citizens. Okay, that's where the court system works. Okay, it's for
all right.
The
with your line of thinking, we don't prosecute anybody. We could, if you're Mexican, get your ass out of here. You don't belong here. You were born in the United States. We don't give a shit. Kick your ass out of here. You're Mexican. Goodbye.
Oh, if you were born in the United States, you're a United States citizen.
Well, that's not what you're saying.
So I mean,
you're saying that the court system's not supposed to process any of that.
No, you're stretching now. You're stretching. You're stretching. I'm just saying, if you're here illegally, you are here illegally.
But you're here.
Okay?
If you have that protected
illegal
status,
is illegal.
If you're here if you have that protected status, you have the right to be here.
Okay, so you're here legally then, if you have that protected status.
And that guy was here pretty much legally.
Okay,
and they still shipped him out.
And the government has admitted that was a fuck up, and I'm sure that they will take care of it.
If we weren't the bull in the china shop, do you think that might have happened?
I don't think it has anything to do with the bowl in it. Well, actually, I'm not understanding your bowl in a china shop analogy that you've been putting up. So, what are you actually trying to say?
Well, I just think that a bull in a china shop just knocks everything over, puts everything out of place, and rushes through it. And that seems to be the way he's trying to run a government like that.
I don't understand the analogy, but I get what you're saying. But I don't understand the analogy. But okay, I can follow your thoughts on this.
Hang on.
I just flat out, plain and simple, if you're here illegally and you don't belong here, then you need to go. And the government has been concentrating on the gang members and the criminals and different things like that. And somehow this guy got mixed up in the mix. But we may find out later that, well, maybe he was a criminal. We don't know. But those are the people that are being deported, not the people that are just like hanging out, doing their thing and working jobs and contributing. But then again, we get to the point where now I'm illegal. So can you pay me under the table? They're not paying into the taxes like you and I have to do. Well, you don't have to do because you don't work anymore, but I have to pay taxes. And you get different situations
I get
like
taxed
that.
on my pension.
So you get different people looking at things in a little bit different manner than just, it is what it is. You know, there's a lot more at stake and a lot more involved than what we're actually discussing.
Yeah, well, the whole thing comes down to they got to get that guy back. I don't care.
And if this guy is legit, I pray to God they get him back, and I feel they will.
Yeah.
If they don't, there was something facetious going on, and
well, the courts have supposedly gave the Trump administration till midnight to get him back.
Okay.
And
I did hear that.
I think there was a stay. They canceled it. Canceled what?
They don't have to have him back by midnight.
Oh, I heard there was a stay so that the justice system could look into it. Anyway, I got one more clip I want to play. You have anything else? Clip wise, that is.
No clips. No, I do want to get into the tariffs a little bit.
Yeah, let's do the protests, then we'll get into the tariffs.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Because that'll move right into the tariffs. Because that's a lot of the protesting.
All right, this next clip is over the weekend. There was what they estimated. There was 150 sites that had peaceful protests going on, and I think they called it hands off or something like that. What it is, I'll just let the clip play and explain it, and then we'll come back and talk about it. You're watching the Art of Argument. God, I haven't said that in a while. You're watching the Art of Argument on Crooked River Radio. Well, at least I hope you're watching. We'll be right back.
Masses of people took to the streets this weekend to protest the Trump administration. The nationwide hands-off movement saw protesters in all 50 states calling for the administration to reverse many of its policies. Protest signs railed against a broad range of issues, including deportations, tariffs, Doge firings, health care, and the rights of transgender people.
Hands off means restore what we've had as a democracy. And so it's being touched in the most dangerous ways.
We are very upset about the cuts to the Board of Education.
Losing our money, or our 401ks for retired people. It hurts a lot to watch what's happening to the country.
And the protests weren't confined to the 50 states either. Americans abroad also demonstrated in Ottawa, Berlin, London, Paris, and other cities.
I would say it's embarrassing, but it has an impact on everyone's lives throughout the world.
There's no limit to the issues that he's causing.
The more than 1,500 hands-off protests were organized by a coalition of over 150 civil rights groups, pro-democracy organizations, and labor unions. They come as world financial markets roiled in the wake of the broad tariffs the Trump administration has imposed on imports.
This is Liberation Day.
The administration has shown few signs of backing down, and neither has the growing protest movement opposed to its policies. As this protester in California told reporters,
we need mass mobilization in terms of what's happening in this country right now. People need to rise up and make clear that what's happening is not okay, and that we're going to defend our democracy and we're going to defend our neighbors. And this is a big step in doing that, and we need to keep it going. It has to be constant, so it's critically important.
This is Inside Edition Digital.
All right, I'm not I do want to say one thing as far as the transgender thing. There at the beginning of that clip, I want to table that issue, but the other stuff that video said was pretty spot on. These people are worried about their incomes. People are worried about Social Security. I'm worried about it. You know, I'm one of those people that we live paycheck to paycheck here. And for them to take and start screwing with that, it's going to be rough. And that's why I've been following the protesting. I couldn't by any way get there, but
oh, you'd have gone?
I would have gone, yeah.
Yeah. What would your sign have said?
Hands off my Social Security. Hands off my pension.
Ain't nobody gonna touch your Social Security.
Well, that's not what that was about. You start getting into the tariffs, and the stock market goes to hell. Which is what's happening now. Almost 2,500 points.
It's dipping.
2,500 points.
Quite a bit.
2,500 points in a week. Yeah, that's just wrong.
What do you mean it's just wrong?
A lot of my pension.
What year were you born?
1954.
Oh, okay. So you don't remember. Do you realize what is going on right now? It's happened twice in already United States history, and it's called a restructuring of the global trading system. You're not aware of that? See, it happened once in 1944, and that's when we came up with the Bretton Woods system, and it had certain countries aligned in different areas, whether they be green, yellow, or red, just like a fucking stoplight. And the industrialization of the United States started to boom. Okay. Now, what the problem is with the United States is how we have de-industrialized the United States, because we're so we need to get everything from everybody else, because we don't have any companies building things here like we did back in the day.
Well, you can thank NAFTA for that.
Oh, I can go further. And then there was another refluctuation in the 80s under Reagan.
Trickle-down economics.
And we had to reset the tariffs in the economics. And then since then, everything has been blown out of control. Now, why should I be paying 300% to another country for a product, and then they expect me to give them a product for 0%? When we are the country that all the people want to deal with, we are the ones that we are the biggest consumers in the world, but we want to allow other countries to charge us exorbitant prices to send our goods to their country, but they want to send theirs over to our country for free. Now, how is that fair? It's not. It's not. It's clearly not fair. And the whole, here's a simple example. Okay, in the 50s, 28% of our output came from industrial, shit. Now it is 10%. Why? Because with the tariffs that other countries are charging us, it's cheaper to build things over in another country and then ship it back to us to make your money. I mean, it needs to be leveled out, and that is the process that is going on right now. And it's gonna suck for a half a minute, but you already see different countries coming to the table saying, "Hey, we'll cut off the tariffs if you'll chill out." And you already see this happening. Now, China, they're trying to play hard ass, which they've always done. But you know what? Who does China rely on? Who do they sell more products to? Us. So if we have tariffs on China, eventually they're going to have to give and crack that shit down so that there's, everybody uses the term free trade. There is no free trade. If it was free trade, it'd be 0% across the board. But these tariffs that other people are charging us are so much more than what we're charging them. And we're in a process, again, of resetting that situation so that we're on a common line to not only better our country, but better the other countries. So, okay, maybe Zimbabwe has a 5% tariff on us. Okay, well, they're making some money from us shipping them products.
They put 10%.
But are they charging us 50% on what they're sending in?
He's put 10%.
No, I mean, come on.
He's put a 10% tariff on a country that's got nothing with penguins in it.
That's all right. He just wanted to make sure he got everything covered. I mean, want to cover everything. I mean, it's you have to. It's another reset. It has happened, like I said, twice in history. It happens. It's part of the economic market. The U.S. has been the standard for as far as money across the world, and so everybody looks to them to handle it.
Have you ever looked in to see what the original reason for tariffs were? I bet I know what it is. Can you tell me what it is?
Enlighten me.
The original thing about tariffs, when they first came onto the in the world, more or less, was for market protection. Each country got together. The countries got together. The free, what we call free market, got together and they said, you guys can ship all, but it's like the Japanese cars back in the 70s. We got a slew of them things, and we got so many that it started beating out the big three auto industries, or the auto industry. And what it came down to is the cars were coming in so cheap, they were shipping them, Honda, whatever, was shipping them into this country so cheap that it flooded the market. And nobody was buying American cars. Were they better? Not by much. The Japanese steel was the worst shit that I ever worked with in an assembly plant. That stuff was garbage. It would bow and split and everything else during the manufacture of it. Okay, so what the idea of the tariffs was for market protection. It was to keep, your price, say of a car. I use a car because I know a little bit more about that than I do some of the other stuff. But you can apply this to vegetables and everything else. Okay, for each car that comes into the country, you're going to charge that car is going to be taxed by a tariff, say 15%. It's going to amount to a couple $100, could amount to $2,000 or $3,000 nowadays. But what it was for was to keep the other countries from flooding our market. And all of a sudden, since we said we were going to institute this, all of a sudden Japan's saying, well, if you want to ship anything back in, you're going to pay a 25% tariff. And China says, well, you're going to pay 75% if you ship anything here. Well, China, you're going to ship it here. We're going to charge you 50 or 60% because we don't want you to flood our markets. That was the original idea for tariffs. It wasn't to restructure the whole damn world. It was for market protection.
Oh, I'm not talking about the restructuring of the whole damn world, but I think you have basically just summed up what I was saying is you have these other countries charging us exorbitant amounts of money to import something into their country, but yet we're supposed to be like nice people and let them export their products into our country and not charge them anything for it. Now, how is that fair? So, I mean, you basically, in what you just said, you basically just explained the whole process.
But apparently
you don't get it.
There have been tariffs on different things as far as cars, anything manufactured in this country. There has always been, I think the tariffs actually started around the time of Carter, if I'm not mistaken. But, that was basically what it was for. And for him, any president to use this to try to restructure the market may or may not work.
Well, two others have already done it.
You're going to piss everybody else off, and they're going to charge.
Right.
They're going to charge you tariffs on tariffs, and then
two others. You know what? Historically, if you look at it, and like I said, two other presidents obviously have already done it, but historically, the only person that will fuck with you that much is China. If you bump shit up, then they will bump shit up, and you get in. I mean, you get into a trade war with China, but these other countries,
did you notice,
are a lot quicker to be like, yeah, you know what? We sell all this shit to you all the time because we can't sell it anywhere else. So we're going to sell it to you.
Do you know who's not in this trade war?
Maybe we need to play ball.
Do you know who's not in this trade war?
Who's not?
Russia.
Yeah, because what the fuck do they produce other than fucking
vodka?
Vodka.
Well,
when's the last time you drank some Russian vodka? You think that shit you buy in the liquor store?
That stuff gets shipped over here.
Bullshit. No, because they're probably not allowed to. Probably a boycott on that shit.
I'd
like to try some Russian vodka just to see if it's that fucking good.
I've heard.
I don't even like vodka.
I've heard it's quite good.
I was gonna say I don't even like vodka.
Smirnoffs. I've actually had Smirnoffs before. That's pretty.
That ain't fucking Russian vodka.
Yeah, it is.
That's about as Russian as you.
Here we go with the insults again. Just playing them.
That shit was probably produced in the United fucking States. I mean, come on.
The way that they were getting away with the tariffs before is, and this is the reason you've got companies like Honda over here, and Nissan, and even Kia. Those companies were told that if you bring your manufacturing over here to the United States, we'll take and you won't have to pay the tariffs on anything. We'll let your products flow in.
Because they're in the United States.
Well, now all of a sudden, we're leaving that and going to, well, Chrysler's got a plant in Canada. I'm going to tax every flipping auto part that comes out of Canada. I'm going to tax everything that comes out of Mexico. It don't matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Now these companies were told you bring your manufacturing over here. We'll let you bring stuff in for free. And all of a sudden, now we switched that attitude.
I think you're not getting the end game. I really think that it's the end game that you're not kind of catching.
Well,
and it, like I said, it may take a minute to get to that end game, but once again, I will tell you, if you look at all these countries that sell products, they count on the United States to purchase their products. Okay, if the United States quit buying products from any country other than the United States, all these people's their economies would just fucking crash in the New York minute. So if you need me that much, why are you charging me 30% and you only expect me to charge you 5%?
Because they don't want
and
the market flooded.
It's a realignment of the way shit works, so that the United States is now on a little bit more of a level playing field. And like I said, if you watch every day or two, there's another country or so that is crumbling and saying, okay, we want to play ball. And that's exactly what Donald Trump is looking for. But you seem to have a problem with, you want the status quo of, okay, I pay 300% to Canada for, I don't know, socks or eggs or boots or whatever. I'm gonna pay them 300%. Really? Why should we pay them 300% to move a product in there when they move a product into our country? It's like 2% or 5%. Does that make sense? No, it does not. Mathematically, it does not make sense. So we're trying to create a balance. And yes, we're going to have to eat shit for a half a minute. Hell, we just ate shit for 4 fucking years. So what the fuck is a few more months? We just ate shit for 4 years. And so a couple more months of that until we can try to get things back stable and set up so that the United States is the country that it used to be, that got fucking degraded for whatever reason, and we can bring it back up to the power that it was. Why not? Why not take that fucking hit for a half a minute?
Well, it's going to be you and I that takes the hit, because during a trade war, the only person or the only ones that lose are the consumers. And they'll be out a lot.
And you know what? And everybody is a consumer. I don't care how fucking rich you are. You still got to buy shit.
Let me give you an example. I just bought a NAS drive. A year ago, I was watching these things. They were about $250. And I thought, oh, what the hell? I'm not spending that much money on it. Well, the one I've got, the NAS that I've got, was It needed retired. It's old, and the technology in it was about like a had like a 386 processor in it. It was really junk, but it worked. It worked. I used it for 5 or 6 years. Dale Miracle used it for. He gave it to me. He used it for about it's about 12, 14 years old. Okay, now, I've been watching this stuff better part of a year, thinking, well, if I ever see a price drop good enough, I'll probably buy one. Well, push comes to shove the other day, and I had to take and go buy one, and I could not believe how much those electronics went up. You're talking almost double of what they were.
I can believe it.
What they were a year ago. And
I can believe it.
Who
is the one country pushing against us right now with the shit? China. Okay, it's China. Who's making the chips and making all this stuff that is going into computer parts?
Ohio?
China. So if you're a computer nerd, yes, what is going on right now is going to upset you because you're not going to be able to buy computer parts as cheaply as you did before. And you found that out the hard way.
Yeah, well, as far as computer parts now, and it's even the same way with cars. If you jack the price of a truck up another $3,000 or $4,000, holy man!
It's no different than COVID.
I wouldn't be able to afford a car now to begin with.
It's no different than COVID. COVID hit, and oh my God! Now all of a sudden, no, I can't get a video card for my computer because it cost $800 million because of COVID. And then they came back down, and then they got relaxed. And then now, guess what? They're popping back up again. So guess what? They'll come back down. So just chill your ass out, and
I'm still
eventually you'll be able to buy what it is you want to buy. I think you'll find the shit will come down to an even keel. I
don't look for that.
Really believe that?
I don't look for that.
So you just think we're just like ruined for the rest of our lives?
Well, somebody on a fixed income like me is, because I can't afford.
I'm on a fixed income.
I can't afford a $2,000 a month or a $750 or $1,000 a month car payment. Hell, that's
$7,000 a month car payment,
or $1,000 a month. That's what I said.
Oh no, shit! I can't either.
Well,
that's why I lease.
That's why you want to put tariffs up and jack the prices up. You're not understanding what I'm saying. My inference there was, like I said, the only person that loses during a trade war with tariffs is you and I, because it's going to jack the prices up, and they may or may not come down. I think that's the meaning that I've got here. Something's got to give, and if it's going to give to where I'm not able to afford a car, I'll just keep what I got. And if it needs repaired or whatever, I'll get it repaired. It used to be you were lucky to get 100,000 miles out of a car. Now the average motor and everything is about 250 if you treat it right. 250,000. Yeah, does that drive the price of the car down? No. You're still going to make $1,000 a month. You're still going to make your car payment's going to be bigger than your house note.
Well, that has to do with the interest rates also.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different factor to bring into this, but I kind of get where you're going. But I think that we need to, bite the bullet for a minute. And I think everything will set itself up. Now, what I do, and I kind of get what you're saying, because I noticed this with COVID. Oh, this is an excuse to raise prices. So we raise prices because of COVID. And then COVID's like long gone. And 2 years later,
and you still got an inflation rate that's ridiculous.
Same price. So I get what you're saying there, but that has nothing to do with what the government is doing. That has to do with what the stores are doing, and that's a whole different conversation. But I get where you're kind of going with that, but I think that what's going on right now needs to occur. And I do believe there needs to be a reset in the way. Why are we paying 300% for something and then somebody else is paying 2% for everything that they buy? It's like it's not fair. It's not fair at all.
Even when if you
and I don't even mind the U.S. paying more than another country, because that's kind of like the way this was set up, was to stabilize other countries and to keep the U.S. dollar as the usable currency throughout the world or whatnot.
I remember a time.
So if they want to charge us something, they can, but it shouldn't be ridiculous. It shouldn't be like say we get 5% from them. Okay, maybe they can charge us 7%. Okay, I get it. It's okay. They're making some money, and then okay, we're making some money too, but they're not sending as much product over to us as we're sending over to them. So at the end of the day, we're making money. That makes sense.
I can remember a day that you could not ship a car to Japan. True story. You couldn't ship a car over there. You weren't allowed. They didn't want you in the market. There were several European countries that I think still may be that way.
That's what I'm saying. So you're beating up your own argument.
Well, it's something's going to have to give. Anyway, let's. We got about an hour and 20 minutes in a can. You ready to call it quits for tonight?
Sure.
All right.
I want to offend nobody.
Give me a break. So anyway, let's wrap this for tonight. Thanks everybody for listening. Hope you take something away from this, education-wise or what have you. This time, next up, I think Saturday we will start up the Four Guys on Sports again. My son was having trouble with his medical issues, and he ended up letting me know that we weren't going to do it Saturday or last Saturday. We should be on this Saturday, though, I'm hoping. Then followed by that Sunday evening is Radioactive. God only knows what I'm going to come up with that. I need to figure out some new topics. But something we can drag on like this show does. Talking about tariffs, but I'm not going to get political with that at all. Anyway.
I'm not going to get tariffs. I'm not going to get political with that.
We can talk about that on this show.
I'm going to talk about tariffs without getting political.
We can talk about tariffs on this show. We're just going to leave the other one alone.
Oh, no, I've noticed, Yeah, your Sunday show, that's turned into a tiny bit of a test center.
What do you mean?
Because I hear you get a little political on there. Come on.
There.
I listen to Justine's phone and shit. You get a little political on there.
Not much.
It's almost like you're feeling the waters before we have our show. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll catch everybody in 2 weeks. Stay safe and
2 and 2.
Yeah. Okay. See you later. Bye. 7-3, y'all.
Okay, well, you know.
You want to talk?
What's up?
Let me get over on the other mic. I'll be back in a minute.